Welcome to UnModeled Behavior, the podcast that helps you to slow down, tune into your inner world, and become the artist of your life. My name is Elise. I am the host of this podcast, and I am going to be sharing spiritual knowledge, archetypal wisdom, personal experience, and tools for lasting transformation. And each week, I will be sharing how to break free from social conditioning. Embrace your feminine essence and create the life of your desires. It's time to unlearn what's been modeled for you and step into your power. In this episode, we're diving deep into the Wounded Healer Archetype, a powerful representation of our journey through pain and healing. We're going to discuss the pervasive culture of hustle that often leads to burnout, especially for women trying to balance multiple roles and responsibilities. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that productivity equals worth, and this mindset can leave us feeling depleted and disconnected from our lives. Together, we're going to explore how you can begin to shift towards a slower, more mindful approach to life and work. So today's episode has something extra special at the end. We're going to go through Florence Nightingale as an example of the Wounded Healer Archetype. There's a few reflection questions throughout, and then to really anchor in the knowledge, at the end of this episode is a meditation which will help you to balance this archetype in your life. The divine feminine that we're going to be talking about today, which is a great example of the Wounded Healer Archetype, is Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale is often called the founder of modern nursing. She was born in 1820 to a wealthy British family and educated at a time when women were typically expected to marry and manage a household. However, she felt a calling to serve others, which led her to pursue nursing, a field that was often undervalued. The two values that we can really take from Florence Nightingale's story are her sense of duty and compassion. And these values and traits really define her life's work because despite her privileged background, she faced a lot of resistance when she chose to enter nursing. But during the Crimean War, she made her mark by improving sanitary conditions in military hospitals, which dramatically reduced the death rate. And here's the wounded healer part. She endured chronic illness and deep emotional struggles throughout her life, demonstrating that the most dedicated healers can often experience a lot of pain. Let's talk about how Florence Nightingale's story can relate to your own life. How does your upbringing shape your values and choices today? In what ways have you faced resistance when pursuing your passions? Can you identify a calling in your own life that inspires you, even if it's outside societal expectations? Nightingale's story really teaches us that our wounds can lead to profound healing work in the community because as she cared for the sick, she exemplified the nurturing qualities of this mother archetype. This archetype is often associated with compassion, protection, and the ability to create safe spaces for others to heal. How can you embrace the nurturing aspects of the mother archetype in your own life? Are there areas in your life where you can provide more care and compassion both to yourself and others? So, both the healer and the mother archetype hold incredible potential, but they also come with their light and dark sides. That's the gifts and also the challenges. And then understanding this balance can help you to navigate this role more effectively. So, first, let's touch on the light side or the gifts of the healer archetype. This archetype embodies compassion, empathy, and the ability to bring about transformation and growth. So, this archetype inspires hope and encourages healing in others, drawing from their own personal experience of pain. So, those are the gifts of the wounded healer archetype. And let's talk about some of the challenges or the shadow side. When the wounded healer is out of balance, they may fall into the trap of martyrdom or overextension, and they might feel compelled to heal others at the expense of their own well being, which leads to burnout and ultimately resentment. Now, let's talk about the larger archetype, which is the mother. The mother embodies nurturing unconditional love and the ability to create safe space for others. They're all about fostering growth and supporting others through their challenges. Some of their personal challenges are that This type of nurturing compassion can manifest as overprotection or smothering. And this can lead to enabling behaviors or failing to empower others to take charge of their own healing. So the question is, how can you cultivate the light aspects of both the healer and the mother within yourself? Are there ways in which you find yourself leaning too heavily into the dark sides of either archetype? So one is martyrdom and the other is overextending yourself. And how might you rebalance the light and the shadow sides of each archetype in your life? In my work, pain is a catalyst for service. It's a powerful motivator for how we can be of service to others. And many of the people that I work with turn their personal struggles into their purpose led business. They use their past experience as a foundation for helping others because when we experience hardship in our life and develop empathy and understanding for those going through similar struggles, the pain then becomes a shared experience, connecting to others in a way that fosters compassion and a desire to help. Let's consider how your own challenges have inspired you to reach out, lend a hand, or even advocate for someone else. The wounded healer understands that their suffering can be a source of strength and wisdom. By transforming your pain into purpose, you create a ripple effect of healing and support in your community. Can you recall a time when your pain motivated you to help someone else? How did that experience shape you? Have you considered starting a business or project based on a past experience that shaped your understanding of pain or healing? And what would that look like? I want to share how the wounded archetype has shown up in my life and how I've balanced this archetype in order to share my mission and calling. So, the beginning of this year, I experienced extreme burnout, really the end of last year, the beginning of this year. And it's because I caught myself in this relentless hustle culture. I was working long hours, pushing myself to meet unrealistic expectations, and I was juggling a million tasks. And I thought I needed to hustle harder to succeed. But instead, I found myself exhausted and really disconnected from my own creativity. I had essentially been praying to the universe for a long time that I would balance the masculine feminine in my life. And I still wasn't asking for help, open to receive support from anybody, really. And so the universe did what it knows how to do, which is give me an experience where I would have to ask for help. And I would have to put myself in a position to where I would get used to people being there for me in a new way. Because in the past, I was maybe in more of the shadow side of the wounded healer mother archetype, which was overextending myself, giving too much to so many different things. And so, in order for me to really balance this in my life, the universe gave me an experience where my entire body shut down and I had to ask for help. It was really a wake up call. I had to reassess my priorities, the way I was living my life. And I realized that in order to truly serve others and be effective in my work, I had to nurture myself first. And this meant slowing down, reconnecting with my body, and honoring my limits. So at at the beginning of the year, I was forced to ask for help. I was forced to be in a position where there was days where it was hard for me to walk. I was carried by my aunt on a number of occasions up the stairs, and that part of me, the more feminine part of me that's feeling and open to receive and asking for help and knowing that it will be there, that's what I was really leaning into during this time to really look at how my masculine energy was showing up in the world. I knew that in order to take the next steps forward on sharing my mission, sharing my calling, sharing my impact, I had to learn to come out of that state of hyper independence and also the wounded masculine that's just like doing. No matter what I did, it seemed to not be successful, at least given the parameters of what I was doing. I would want to have new people in my coaching program and to have different workshops, and it seemed like I was always in this state of exhaustion. And the reason why is I wasn't filling my own cup first. I was waiting for the outside world to validate me. And in that, I was also changing the way that I showed up, shifting the way that I showed up in order to be of service to others, which was ultimately never going to be really of service because I had to be empowered as my unique individual self to then attract the people who are really in tune with my message. One of the major shifts that started to happen that was balancing this mother archetype, not just the asking for help, being willing and open to receive it. But the biggest part was to nurture myself first. And throughout that, I found that the more that I aligned with my joy and said yes to opportunities that really resonated with me, I started to feel more abundant. My body started to feel better. I started to show up differently. I was happier. I wasn't putting on a mask for the world. I was exactly who I wanted to be. And it's funny how throughout this process, I started to heal. I started to heal myself at a molecular level. And, right now, recording this podcast, I do not have pain in my knees. And that is incredible because I do more with my body now than I had ever done before. I had this limiting belief that started to show up around the chronic pain on what I was and was not able to do with my body. And the more that I challenged that, the more that I got feedback that was the more that I nurtured what I love, the more that I did what I love, the more I gave attention to those things, the pain started to dissipate. And then celebrating that was really a big part of where I'm at now because I had to consciously celebrate myself at every step of the way. A lot of the energy that was being held in my joints, particularly my knees, was an energy of like perfectionism and not wanting to step forward unless things were perfect in my life. And so I realized that every step that I took in the right direction, I was winning, even if it was a little one. It was just me moving towards being a more empowered version of myself, authentically expresses me, doing the things that I love. And through that, I was such a high vibration to attract experiences to me that just felt like absolute magic. Throughout this process, I was really healing myself and then now realize that that is the wounded healer archetype that's present in my life right now as I went through all of the pain of what it was like in my first 3 businesses, honestly, and how those experiences really shaped me and what it looked like when I wasn't following my purpose and my calling and how I would manifest sickness and how I would be mentally unwell. There was a lot of times that it was very highlighted if I wasn't following my purpose, if I wasn't following my calling, I didn't feel good. And I didn't feel like showing up to all the other things in my life. But the more that I started to follow my purpose and my calling, the less that I was giving attention to my lack or lack of self-worth because I wasn't focusing on it anymore. I was focusing on giving back. I was focusing on being of service. I was focusing on becoming the best version of myself and feeling joy on a consistent basis. And because that, I kind of created a space between me and the past self that would self-sabotage seeing success coming in and feel like I had a really loud inner critic because I did. At one point, my inner critic was so loud that it really held me back. And then the other things that I've been able to accomplish since then, stepping into my power, sharing my message and calling, that's my version of the wounded healer archetype. The pain and suffering that I went through not following my purpose and not having support through that is something that I share now because now I get to be that support for other women who can trust that by balancing their masculine and feminine energy that they will be successful in the endeavor of just living a purpose-filled life. It's not as much about being an entrepreneur and following your dreams in that way and those sides of business. I feel like it's equally about that, but it's more about how you feel in the day to day. How does it feel to be you? What are the things that you are doing that fuel you as an individual? Letting go of any of the stories that you should be like this or should be like that, or I teach fitness at a gym at a YMCA, and I absolutely love it. I love being a fitness coach, fitness instructor. I'm teaching right now muscle pump, cardio dance, and boxing. And I absolutely love that. And in the past, I would not give myself the opportunity to do something that was different than my business, like to even be paid by somebody. And the mindset now is that if I love something, I'm abundant in it. Like I love to work out, I get paid to work out. I love to go to events and connect with people. And as a promotional model, I get paid to do that plus travel. So, like, these things keep my vibration high and keep me out of old stories of the past of like, this is the one path that it has to look like. Because as the creatrix that we've been talking about on this podcast since the first one, and we will talk about for the rest, it's really about tuning into what makes you happy, following your joy, and that bringing in abundance because it will. I get paid in my sleep now, and that to me before was foreign. I had no idea what that could look like or be like. And so I would kind of cut off my energy and put it all towards one thing, one project, one product, one piece of art. And now what I realize is that if I give my attention to the things that make me happy, source works the rest out. That's the true surrender is you can have a goal and where you're working towards, but the how is figured out along the way. And the vibrational energy that you need to be to match something is the most important thing. So, following your joy, following your passion, sharing your purpose, that is where you are going to shine and attract the people who are coming into your life to support you, as well as the experiences that are there to help you grow and expand and share your message and your calling. I've also embraced my identity as an artist to the extent that it's now being reflected to me exactly how I had dreamed it of. I wanted to be in fine art galleries, and the moment that I made the choice that I was worthy as an artist, I didn't need to keep getting better. I didn't need to come up with another program for people. I just had to show up and say, I'm an artist. This is me. I'm worthy of this place. I think I'm the only artist at Terra Art Gallery that does not have a bachelor in fine arts. And I can tell there are times that it will intimidate me, and then I'll kind of shake that off and say, no, I am the expert in what I'm the expert in. And that's the same with coaching. If you're a wounded healer archetype listening to this and you're like, how do I take the next step forward in sharing my message with people? It's owning you, your story, your authenticity. And the more that you do, the more it's reflected back to you how worthy that is. And that's how you get into states of abundance. Abundance, is about being able to, well, first and foremost, abundance for me is following my joy, following that vibration, that really high vibration, and letting go of any stories that keep me from getting there, keep us from getting there. But two, it is about how you can provide in your life. When you are more abundant, when your energy is free flowing, when you're not worrying about how to take care of the things in your life, that allows you to stay in a state of open abundance where you're just flowing from one thing to the next and in the excitement of it. And I believe that everyone can get there because I came from a broken home, homelessness, multiple times in my life, and now I'm at the place where I make money in my sleep. I impact people all over the world from all of the things that I'm doing, and I don't even have to call all of my attention to it all the time. So the wounded healer archetype is showing up in my life right now through my divine feminine business coaching, which addresses my pain points of overwhelm and exhaustion as a woman entrepreneur. So I help women understand that it's not about being better, but rather about the beautiful acceptance of where one is currently. Because in that self-acceptance, they realize they're worthy of a life that is abundant. The structure I coach on allows women just starting off to balance their masculine and feminine energies, preparing them for scaling a business while recognizing that they will need to hire for the tasks that don't require their direct attention. Trusting that aligned help will come is part of really leaning into the feminine. And this unmodeled path is really about focusing on where they shine and bringing that forward. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, that sounds like me, I want to follow my purpose. I want to tap further into my joy and my fullest authentic expression and feel empowered. I want you to know that that resistance that you feel that's coming up to start this new direction, to start down this path, that's what it feels like when you're about to make changes in your life. Your subconscious is really just there to say, like, oh, we're not safe. And it is only saying that because it doesn't know what this path looks like. The unmodeled journey is obviously not something that you have gone down before. It's not been modeled for you. But that is where you're going to find so much transformation in your life. And that's the path that I'm sharing with you as somebody who's walked it. And, I can help you learn from my mistakes throughout that journey so that you're your most empowered self and you have support throughout the process. So every episode, I like to give a tool for us to really anchor in the knowledge. And today I'm going to take you through a guided meditation. So wherever you're at right now, if you can just make some space for yourself, knowing that you're about to drop in, clearing the clutter of your mind. This is only going to take a few minutes, so wherever you're at is perfect. You can sit up, you can lie down, whatever is your preference for right now. And so if you want to get comfortable, you want to pause this and come back to it, I'll be here when you get back. Now that you're ready, let's take a moment to ground ourselves. I'll guide you through a brief meditation designed to help you connect with your body and recognize when you might be overextending yourself. Find a comfortable position, either seated or lying down, and let's begin. Take a deep breath in, feeling your belly expand, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension. With each inhale, imagine drawing in calm and grounded energy. With each exhale, let go of any stress or overwhelm. As you settle into this space, bring your awareness to your body. Notice any areas of tightness or discomfort. Visualize a warm, golden light surrounding you, filling you with a sense of safety and comfort. Allow this light to guide your attention inwards. Ask yourself, am I pushing beyond my limits? What does my body need right now? Stay in this space for a few moments, breathing deeply and allowing any insight to come to you. What does my body need right now? When you feel ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing yourself back to the present moment. Thank you for joining me in this meditation. Remember, it's essential to listen to your body and honor its needs. The journey of the wounded healer teaches us that our healing process can be our greatest strength. And by prioritizing self-care, you empower yourself to help others more effectively. If you felt a calling from today's episode, I encourage you to take action towards your purpose. Consider setting up a discovery call with me to explore if you're a good fit for the unmodeled journey, so that together we can delve into your unique path and help you align with your true self. I also want to remind you that the next workshop, Goddess Flow, is coming up on October 5th. This workshop focuses on connecting your body through movement, helping you ground yourself and tap into your creative energy. It's a great opportunity to explore your body in a safe, nurturing environment. And so if you want to save your spot today, follow the link in my show notes or in my Instagram bio. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of UnModeled Behavior. I hope you found value in our discussion about the Wounded Healer Archetype. I want you to remember that embracing your journey through pain and suffering can lead you to a more abundant and fulfilling life, not only for yourself, but also for those you wish to serve and work with. As you explore your path, I encourage you to take a moment and check out the Divine Feminine Archetypes quiz. This fun and insightful quiz will help you identify where you are at in your entrepreneurial journey, offering you a clearer understanding of your strengths and challenges. It's a valuable tool that allows me to better serve you and to tailor my coaching to your unique needs. Plus, it's an opportunity for you to reflect on your own journey and gain insights into how to move forward. You can find the link to the quiz in the show notes or my Instagram bio. I look forward to hearing about your insights and supporting you on your path toward abundance and alignment. Until next time, remember that the life you deserve isn't something you chase. It's something you create by reconnecting with yourself and following your joy. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.